Hi, my name's Randy Morse. I'm a founder of Drum Computer, and I'm here to go over the 5 most frequently asked questions about drum. So let's get started. And the first question is, what is drum? In a nutshell, drum is a North American-based computer maker. Just like Dell or HP, Apple or Acer, drum is in the business of designing and then overseeing the manufacturing, distribution, and sale of computers. In drum's case, this means a very specific class of computers, highly mobile, lightweight, and inexpensive. Various computers are included in this class, most importantly netbooks and tablets, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. So that's drum, not a computer store, but a computer maker. The second question is, what is a netbook? What is a tablet? Well, very simply, a netbook is a mini laptop, a very small, lightweight device that works just like old-style, heavy laptops, but without the heaviness and weight associated with those older machines. Netbooks can range from very thinly equipped computers that are essentially cloud computers designed to work strictly with web-based applications, to very small and lightweight laptops that are actually very well endowed with lots of RAM and lots of memory. Tablets are similar to netbooks in that they are also highly mobile, but unlike netbooks, they do not have a built-in physical keyboard. The most famous of these devices is the recently released Apple iPad. So netbooks, tablets, that's the space that drum is expressly and solely focused on. We don't make desktop computers, we don't make big, heavy, traditional laptops. The third question is, what is drum's business strategy? Very simply, drum has decided to focus on a number of very specific verticals or markets. We are expressly avoiding going into the retail trade, so you will almost certainly not find a drum netbook or tablet in your local big box electronics store or department store. The reason for that is that the retail trade in computers and other electronic devices is brutal. It's extremely cutthroat, and it would be very difficult for a young, small company like Drum to assert itself in that space. So instead, we've chosen to focus on a handful of vertical markets in North America where we believe that the established computer makers have done a poor job of penetrating or indeed have totally ignored. The first of these is the native North American market. The second is a very specific subset of that market, Indian-owned casino hotels and resorts. A third, public libraries. A fourth, seniors. And most importantly, perhaps of all, we are focused on the federal government verticals in both Canada and the United States, and I'll address why in just a moment. So, Drum's strategy is to stay lean, to stay small and agile and mobile, just like the devices we make, and to focus on very specific narrow verticals where we know we can gain a foothold against relatively thin competition from the more established computer makers. The fourth question, how will Drum be competitive? That's obviously a very good question. Well, the answer lies in part in what I just spoke about, that is our focus on verticals with a relatively light layer of competition compared with the retail trade at least. But the other and more important reason for Drum's competitiveness is our insistence that the company, both in Canada and in the United States, be majority Native, Indian, or Aboriginally owned. This instantly provides Drum with a competitive advantage and a distinct differentiation over all other computer makers, not only in North America but in the world. The advantage that this gives the company in practical business terms is that in both Canada and the United States, there are federal procurement programs, generally referred to as set-aside programs, which allow Native majority-owned companies a competitive advantage when bidding on government contracts against their non-Native competitors. In both Canada and the United States, there are very specific aspects of these programs. In the United States, for example, there are departmentally specific set-aside programs, the largest and the best known of which is the one administered by the Department of Defense, but there are many others as well. Just as an aside, to give you a sense of the size of this market, in fiscal year 2009, for example, the Department of Defense in the United States spent $33 billion on information technology, and a significant percentage of that $33 billion was spent on new computers. A much smaller department in the United States, the Department of Interior, which includes the Bureau of Indian Affairs, spent just under $1 billion last fiscal year on information technologies, including computers. So as you can see, if DRUM is able to secure even a small percentage of some of that IT spending in the US as well as in Canada, the company can do very well indeed. The last question is, so what's in it for investors? Well, the opportunity here is very simple. DRUM, which is poised to position itself as the world's only native-controlled computer company, has a very high growth potential. And it's very simply the case that investors who come in at this early stage, who can come in on the ground floor, have a very nice growth opportunity here. Ultimately, we'll see where the future may lead. Certainly possibilities include taking DRUM public, either in Canada or the United States, and as well, quite likely, the company is going to be looking at suitors, that is, larger computer companies wanting to grab DRUM's very interesting and lucrative niches once the company has established itself. So it's like anything else in the capitalist world. Coming in early offers the biggest potential upside, and we think we can mitigate the risks because DRUM is a very business-oriented company. Its founders have been in business for many, many years. Our Chief Technology Officer, Ken Leong, has an amazing capacity to design new products. We have a very close working relationship with Chinese manufacturers, the same manufacturers that make Dells and HPs and Apples. And you put all this together, wrapped in a package of proud native majority ownership, and we think that the upside for investors with DRUM is very substantial and quite exciting. The final point I'll make is that if you take a look at this webpage on our website, you'll notice that there's another video which will give you a close-up look at a couple of DRUM netbooks and will better explain to you the difference between a netbook and a traditional heavy laptop. Thanks for watching, and come again soon.